Awesome. The webinar is live. Hi, Kathy. Rhonda. Hello, everyone. We're just going to give people a couple moments to log in here. Here we go. We've got about 20 attendees already. Awesome.
Nice.
26. Great. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Marie. Yes. So for those of you that were trying to join.
Okay.
Here we go.
So my name is Greg Monias. I'm from Northern Manitoba. I am a mentorship officer with Inspire, and I'm living in the Hamilton area right now. But yeah, I'm from Northern Manitoba, lived in BC for a bit, but I'm settled here in Ontario.
Wonderful. And we've got our moderator as well. Hi, Carrie. Did you want to say a few words?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, technical issues. So I just wanted to say hello, and sorry I'm late and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I am the youth navigator for NAPAM Hamilton Catchment. So we're running a little behind, so I'm just going to let our presenters go on with their presentation.
Sounds good. So Greg, you are up first, and then we will have RBC starting at about 11:35. Go for it. Thanks so much.
So let me figure out I need to be able to screen share.
Go for it.
Great. Awesome. Can everyone see the presentation? Perfect. All right, so like I said, I'm Greg Monias. I am from Inspire. We are an Indigenous charity, but I am here representing the Rivers to Success program. So it's an Indigenous mentorship program. So we're going to talk about that a little bit throughout today's presentation and what that looks like. So I just wanted to start off with the land acknowledgement. I just wanted to acknowledge first the many First Nations and Métis and Inuit whose footsteps we've marked these lands for centuries. I believe, though, that land acknowledgements are only the start towards reconciliation. So I'd like to further acknowledge that sometimes as Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, we must understand that we often work and play in traditional territories of other Indigenous nations as uninvited guests. So it is our responsibility to respect their territory and work to understand their cultures and traditional laws as we would any other colonial law. So I'm presenting today from Hamilton, Ontario, shared homelands of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe people. So Kinanaskamitin to those two nations for inviting me here. So like I said in my intro, my name is Greg Monias. I'm mentorship officer with Inspire. Here's a lovely photo of me. This is my greeting in my language as well, which is Cree. Actually, I have a really interesting start in my career. I actually started with RBC as well. So leaving my post-secondary, I got in with an Indigenous internship summer program, and it really launched my career. So when Andrea and the RBC folks are talking, make sure you listen up really close. It really helped me in my career. So yeah, like I said, I am a mentorship officer with Inspire, and I'm so thrilled to be able to be invited here to speak to you guys about our program and what Inspire can and does for you as learners. So let me first introduce you to Inspire. So Inspire is a national charity whose purpose is to ensure that within a generation, all Indigenous students will graduate. And we are an organization by Indigenous people for Indigenous people. So on our team, we have a team of 4. We're all Indigenous folks, and we are working on the ground every day to try and build programming, build events, build resources for you as Indigenous learners to help you with the success of your education. So as Inspire, we believe that enabling youth is the best investment in our communities. So we do this by our 4 key program areas. So we have financial awards, which is kind of our flagship program that offers scholarships and bursaries to those attending post-secondary. The mentorship program, which is the program I will be discussing today and the one that I am most involved in. research, which is absolutely brand new to Inspire. So our Research Knowledge Nest nurtures young students who are passionate about research and develops your skills in that area. So each of the students are hired by Inspire as research assistants and are able to learn and work at the exact same time. And the last is reconciliation. So through a program called Climbing the Mountain that was developed by Negon Sinclair, who is a professor at the University of Manitoba, that discusses the importance of reconciliation in the workplace and in schools across Canada. So through these 4 programs, we try work at every section of your journey, whether that be your self-confidence, whether that be the money that is required for post-secondary, and how we move you into careers. Sorry, my dog is in my lap right here and she keeps squirming. So if you see me moving around, it's her.
Special guest.
Yeah, her name is Isco, which is short for fire in my language.
Love it.
She's a little sleepy this morning. So I just wanted to show off some stats for you as well. I love stats. I feel like they jump out and punch the best. So we have provided over 37,500 awards to learners across Canada through support from our donors, which are corporate donors and individual donors. So really thankful for them for that. So through those 37,500 awards, we've been able to issue more than $115 million in scholarships and bursaries to Indigenous students to access post-secondary since 2004. And every year that number just keeps growing. In February, we're looking at handing out almost 4,000 awards. And last, 90% of the students at Inspire Supports graduate from the program that they're in. So whether that be a support financially or whether that be through mentorship or any of the other programs that we offer, if they have a contact with us, it's a pretty good shot. So I definitely encourage you to look at Inspire's website and to take a look at some of the programs and deliverables that we're offering right now to see if any of them maybe will help you in your journey. But I'll go into very much the mentorship program. I wanted to say also that I am one of this 90%. I received help from Inspire when I was a post-secondary student when I was in Brandon, Manitoba, so southern part of the province. And I'm just so thankful to Inspire, and I'm happy I'm able to give back so directly. So let's go into our program. So our program is a national mentorship program that supports the academic success of Indigenous students and their smooth transition into further education or career. So we want to start with you as you're in high school and be able to connect with you and deliver resources and events that are really important to you as you transition from this stage of your life, the most important stage of your life of really deciding what you want to do with everything that you have to offer, into post-secondary. And then once you're there, what skills and tools do you need to require to get you from post-secondary to career transition into your career that you really want to be in. Post-secondary is not the goal, I think. I think the goal is a meaningful career at the end of it. So we want to make sure that that journey is as smooth and as comfortable as possible. So we heard from about 4,000 students we surveyed who said that they struggled with cultural identity when they left their home to go to school, or they faced culture shock from various other identities when they were there. They also lost a sense of belonging as they left their families behind. And they needed some resilience in reducing social isolation. So they were finding that they were socially isolated in the first few months of school, and they weren't able to connect with anybody and be able to really find a community in that institution to keep them. So once they got to midterms or in their first few months of living away from home, in a new city, perhaps in a new area, it gets lonely. And so finding a community is incredibly important. I found my community in Brandon through the Indigenous Student Center. But it's often hard for people to make those in-person connections. As we live, as young people live more and more online, and as we're forced to live online in this age right now, we have to get creative with how we're creating community and how we're creating connections. So our program really wanted to work on mentorship. So we felt like mentorship was a good opportunity to create those formal relationships with people in your community or have similar interests to you, so that you always have a friend in your corner or somebody always there to support you regardless of anything that's happening, and it's supported through the program of Inspire. So in our mentorship program, we seek to develop a whole individual through a learning relationship. So it's always reciprocal. So it's not always mentor teaching mentee. The mentee has a lot to teach the mentor, and it might be how to format a Word document. It might be anything, right? We're a learning people. It's always a two-way street and reciprocity for us. But we want to make sure that we're looking at all of the aspects of you as an individual. So your spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and physical into the development process. So you'll see this as a common theme throughout our presentation, how we acknowledge each of these parts of an individual in the resources and events and the way that we deliver and offer mentorship in the program. All right, let's go to, there are 4 questions in our program. First offered by Senator Murray Sinclair, and it really helps us to ground ourselves as staff and people who work for Inspire. It grounds our program and the deliverables that we offer. And every time we build or develop a resource or event, we think of these 4 questions and how it might impact you as a user, and grounds you as a participant. So you will see this throughout surveys, throughout the journey of your mentorship if you decide to join the program. So I'd like to challenge you right now in your seat to think about these questions, and this goes for everybody on the call. So the first is, who am I? So this question starts to create your self-awareness and what makes you a unique individual. So thinking of, what are your personality traits? What are your hobbies? What makes you laugh, or what is difficult or hard for you to do? What do you enjoy doing? So these questions help plant yourself a little bit deeper in your shoes or your moccasins as you start to develop confidence in what you can offer, and honestly, what you can't offer. You need to be real with yourself of what your abilities are and what you can and cannot offer. So understanding that who am I is a really important key first step in self-awareness and understanding. The second is, why am I here? It's an interesting question to ask yourself, because it really starts to direct your attention to your surroundings and what's around you. So what circumstances put you in this physical position, or maybe what circumstances put you into this headspace that you're in today, or the emotion that you're feeling today. So starting to understand how external forces affect your who am I, affect your first question. The third is, where am I going? So ask yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years, or in 6 months, or tomorrow, or even after this workshop? Like, what is your plan? What is happening in your life? Do you have it planned out that much? So I want you to think about this in this life stage of post-secondary. Family building, is it when you want to go directly into careers? Like, what are those goals and how are you going to achieve them? So this is a core component in the mentorship program. Goal setting and and succeeding with your goals is something that we like to work a lot with our mentors. And the last is, who can help me? So as Indigenous people, we need to rely on each other for prosperity and growth. We have forever have relied on each other and our relationships with each other in our communities and with nations across Canada. So each of us has a role and a part to play, but we often need the help of each other to get there. So identify who in your life can help you and wherever you are along the way. And if you need help answering any of the 3 questions above, find help, whether that be through your teachers or your family members, your mentorship programs at Inspire, whomever it is that you need to reach out to. There are supports, and I know that you probably heard about a lot in the last couple of days as well. One question I get a lot is, what is mentorship? Like, I don't see mentorship in my life. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but it is there. So what does mentorship mean or look like to you? Everybody has their own definition of what a mentor is, and whether we have them formally or not. So I'm going to go into a few examples of mentors in my life, and maybe you can, like, maybe it'll set off a little bell in your head to say, oh yeah, I have those in my life as well. So for me, it was the aunties and the uncles in my family. In my community, our extended families are so huge. They're so large, but they're so loving and they're so caring, and it's a whole community. My northern community has about 800 people, and we know everybody, right? So for me, in my traditional territory, I was just blessed to have those extended family. In our culture, like I said, our families include community members and family friends. So it was those aunties and uncles, cousins, those community members that really taught us first and taught me how to be a person and taught me how to create community and create community around food and around social events and around culture and creating life. So at the start of these relationships, they're not actually defined. We're more kind of born into them, or we meet these friends along our journey. The next one is probably the one that you're most have access to right now is coaches, advisors, and teachers. So this will be where most of you have had access for the past few years, probably since middle school, through coaches, things like that. So looking at any adult figure in your community that you look up to and that you trust to help guide you through challenging times, whether that be through sport, whether that be through music, whether that be through your education or any career trajectory that you're wanting to take. So taking a look at who in your life can answer those questions if you did have them. So once you graduate though, you have specific mentorship needs. Established mentoring programs are there to help. So once you leave high school, you're not on your own. There are still supports at your universities and your local colleges that might have a program in place, but if they don't, that's where we're here to help support. So there are formal agreements with established goals and dates. So there are other national mentorship programs like Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada. ACES is a really big one that works with STEM. And many others. So quite often these programs work to create a community for you to feel nurtured and to feel safe in. And mentors are often screened with background checks as well and have formal training or informal training in mentorship. So this is the program and this is the sort of sphere that we work in. Going forward, our program highlights. I didn't want to go too deep into our program because it's not really, it's cool and it's important, but the resources and events I'll touch on a bit later is a little bit more of the juicy, cool stuff. So I wanted to first highlight our online portal. Oh, that went well. So this is our online portal. So we have, it's a national reach. So we have members from BC right through to Newfoundland and each of the territories represented as well. So it's national. So if you join the program, there will be students your age and people your age who are across Canada in this program. So every event you attend will include people from every province. Most nations are represented, and we ask people in the chat to let us know where they're from usually and what nation they're in. So it's really cool to see like, oh my goodness, there's students from Kamloops in the call, and there's students from Calumet and St. John's, Newfoundland, all in the same call, and it's wild for time change differences, but it's really fun if we can get it at a really good time in the middle of the day. So the portal also has an app, so you can use it on your smartphone or tablet to access the resources and mentoring events. So you don't need a computer, but it works well on a computer as well. And since our launch, we only launched in September of 2020, and we already have over 1,000 Indigenous students in the portal. So obviously there's a need for mentorship in the country, and students are feeling it. And they jumped on the opportunity to join us in our mission and what we're doing. So they're taking full advantage of the resources of events already. And so it's a really good community that's already being developed. And some of the discussions in the portal are very engaging and very interesting to see. So that goes for anybody on the call. If you want to join the portal, just let me know at the end, and then there's a couple links I can share with you. So our 3 streams are designed to follow you throughout your educational journey. So whether through high school or through landing your first job out of university. So they are high school, post-secondary, and career transition stream. So you will notice that the high school group mentorship stream will launch in September 2021, but we will touch on that in a little bit. I know that's the most important for everybody right now, but I wanted to touch a little bit on the other 2 as well. So if you are though a grade 12 graduating student with the intention of attending post-secondary, you can still qualify for the post-secondary stream, and you can be matched one-on-one in the portal today. So the last is career transition, and will follow you into the first year of your career. I know that there are mentorship programs often in employers as well, like with RBC, for example, there's the Royal Eagles, and it was a really, really good program to keep me at RBC and start me in my career. So for access, here's what you'll have access to. You'll have access to events hosted with Indigenous leaders and organizations. I don't know if you've ever seen our Inspire Awards, but our laureates, we have some like bomb top tier Indigenous like royalty laureates represented with Inspire, and they are always so eager to give back to us. So we have such a pool of diverse and wicked Indigenous folks who are willing to offer and do events for us. So we had an event just recently with Coletta Commanda, and she offered a discussion on mentorship and what it meant to her growing up and how she was able to move and leave her community to go to law school. Like those important like skill, like having to leave your friends, your family. How did she deal with that? So that those types of events are happening all the time in the portal. So definitely take a look. I'll show you some of the ones that we had and maybe a couple that are coming up as well. We also have access to our Elder and Knowledge Keeper Circle. So we have a Knowledge Keeper Circle of 6 from across Canada. We have Inuit and Métis representation as well. So we definitely want to make sure that we're staying grounded in our teachings and in our what we're able to offer as Indigenous folks. So definitely take a look at what we're able to offer, and also customized indigenized resources. This is where we spend a lot of our time. So on culture, wellness, academics, career, and inclusion. So we build in-house resources, and they are often e-learning modules, or their tip sheets, or their videos. They are speaker series, workout videos. We had one on Thursday, a workout video, and it was called Breath. And so that wasn't the resource that I was working on, or an event that I was working on. So I was like, oh, I'm going to walk into a yoga session. No, it was cardio. So definitely a different vibe first thing in the morning. But it's those types of events that we have that can really offer you different things in your day to shake up your day, or to challenge yourself with some workouts, or even to start working out. And we also do a lot of other resources around academics. So how to study, how to find yourself in university, on wellness and your mental health, how to achieve good mental health, and how to access services in Ontario and in other provinces as well. And culture. We have this, I'll show you a resource that we have shortly, but it's a really good cultural resource that we just developed. So let me go into a few of them right now. So here is what it would look like for you if you were to log into the portal. You would see these are just 8 of the resources that we have. We have over 50 in the portal and about 60 on the go right now. So we're looking, and like I said, we launched in September, so we're trying to pump out as much as we can for you. But here we have mental health resources that we've partnered with CAMH on, and we're working on a platform called TikTok. I'm a little bit out of the TikTok age of youthness, but I know that it's a really a good platform for you guys. So I know that the CAMH folks are working really hard on that for you. Some medicine teaching. So we were able to go into the garden of a Six Nations man named Jim Dockstader. We were able to go into his garden, and he showed us what the medicines look like in nature, what they look like, how to pick them, when to pick them, and the teachings behind them, and showed us them and how he uses them in his Haudenosaunee culture. Staying fit, like I said, we do. We have 3 already in the portal, and we have some events with Dan Hupfield, who is a powwow workout instructor. So definitely a lot in there for keeping your mind and your body fit, focusing on all of those parts of the individual. Self-advocacy, this is one of the first ones we did. We felt like this was really important. How to advocate for yourself when you walk into that first appointment with your guidance counselor, or your first appointment with your university advisor. What steps and tools you need to bring in, what should be in your toolkit, how can you prepare for those meetings? That is in that resource as well. Cultural glossary, this is one that we get asked a lot as well from outside organizations, particularly our partners, is what is culture? What is indigeneity? What is all of these questions? And they're hard questions, and they're different for everybody. So what we have is a series in here where we find our elders in our circle, and we ask them these questions, like, explain language. What does language mean to you? Explain what culture means to you. And those videos are up in the portal. Eating well, this one was really cool. I did this one over the summer, and it was how can you feed yourself for the week on $10? Because that is something that you're going to want to learn when you go to post-secondary, and you're starting to learn on your own. But it's all with really healthy and organic materials. So he was able to pull them from his garden, and just using like minimal ingredients, create a meal for him and his family. And I ate it, and I ate that for like, I swear, 2 weeks. It was so good. Art, we also have a lot of artists coming through our program. So we have like painters, beaters, we have quill makers, quill work makers, like all types of art, singing. We have singing groups come in, but all around the idea that our culture is in our art. So we need to make sure that we're reviving that first. And restorative practices. This is something that is really important, I think, as you start to develop relationships and as you leave and start to consider leaving high school and into post-secondary. A lot of the relationships you have are going to have some turmoil. And I always say the closest network you're ever going to have in your life is who you surround yourself with. So how you present yourself and how you have restorative practices and how you mediate yourself is really important. So there's some traditional teachings in there as well from Jim Doxier. So that is just like a quick look at our resources section. It is quite full in there, and it's so fun to make them and to deliver them. So I definitely encourage you, if you were to join, to do that. The next part is the events. So we have events all the time. We try to go for 3 a month. So 3 events a month, whether that be like an exercise event, an art event, and some sort of speaker series. We also do like career events as well. We do transitioning events, writing workshops, those kinds of things in the portal. So if you did join, these are the types of things that you would access. But here are some of the ones that we did just recently that I had actually just on my desktop. We're a beading circle with Megan for Christmas. So we started in November and we went for 3 weeks, and everybody at the end was able to gift somebody in their life a beaded work based on what they were able to create during. And all the materials were sent to you. So if you want to join, this is the type of environment you'd be coming into. We also had Rogers come in and do a panel talk. They're 3 Indigenous people who have lived some fun, like interesting lives, and how they got into where they are in their careers, and how they got to work for Rogers, and how they got into corporate Rogers. We also have, like I said, the powwow workout with Dan Hupfield. So this is a very active workout. So if you're wanting a good leg workout, this is something to do. It also teaches you some basic steps for powwow dancing. And the last one that I wanted to highlight was taking your temperature. This is a joint event. We do these a lot. This one was with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it was really cool to hear from a lot of our mentors of what problems they have had with students during the pandemic. So how do we mentor students during the pandemic? So this was, we host events like that as well, learning on both sides. So that's our program. That's what we do. That's sort of what we offer. I do have a slide here though, but we need your help.
I'm sorry, I don't really want to interrupt, Greg, but we do need to be mindful, and we're going to introduce Lindsay from RBC. I'm really sorry, but there is a comment in the comment section that said Inspire supported my daughter in her university studies. Hearing a lot of wonderful things. If you wanted to maybe put your email into the chat, so maybe if the youth wanted to learn some more about Inspire, they can reach out to you directly.
Sure.
Perfect. I'm so sorry for interrupting, but now we're going to introduce Andrea and Natasha from RBC.
Great, thanks. And Gaila Kusla, Greg, thank you for mentioning your start in RBC. And I could have happily continued listening to you, but I think, you know, I'm going to share my screen and get our presentation up. And let me know if it's looking okay on your end.
Looks great, Andrea.
Pardon me?
Looks great. We can see it.
Okay. Are you seeing the whole thing, or are you just getting the
we can see the
PowerPoint?
whole thing. So I think you need to click present
Okay,
on your
thank you.
PowerPoint. You got it.
Just slideshow.
And while you do that, thank you so much, Greg. He is putting in some links for us to learn more, as well as his contact information. So if you have any questions, if you want to follow up with Greg, please check out that link and send him an email.
Amazing. I will tell you, I follow Inspire, and I'm inspired. So, Gela Kasla, Gastalas Klen, Muskumo Sawadeno, Guaitlin Las Guai. And very simply as well, in my language, thank you for having me. I'm actually calling in from the unceded territories of the Coquitlam people, part of the Coast Salish in BC. My community is Gwaii, which is a small village in BC on the coast as well, and really honored to be able to have the opportunity to come and present on the part of RBC. We've got a lot to cover, so I am going to pretty much dive right in and give you a little bit of history about our programs, and then we'll talk about the program specifically. A little bit about myself as well. I actually joined RBC as a result of RBC's commitment to inclusion. And so I have been with RBC as a recruiter for 22 years, which just blows me away that I've actually worked that long as a recruiter. I'm part of the early talent acquisition team, which is a really fancy name for campus recruiter. I very specifically engage with talent, early talent, student talent across the country. And part of my role is sharing what our opportunities look like as far as student internships and other access to information to help youth develop towards careers. One of the things I also like to highlight is I am an active member of RBC's Royal Eagles. Royal Eagles is our Indigenous and ally group, and Greg mentioned that we do act as supports for each other and mentors within our organization. And I've been around long enough, I've actually advanced to our elders council within RBC. So honored to actually carry that history of RBC's commitment and how we've evolved, and to be here and act as a resource for my colleagues throughout the organization and for youth coming in as well. So our mentorship is quite strong. RBC has a strong commitment to Indigenous communities, and our diversity and inclusion has always been a core value within RBC, and it is our strength and a key driver for growth and innovation. And I'm honored to say that I think RBC is one of the most innovative financial companies. The recognition just continues to grow and grow, and it's because of that commitment to youth and bringing in talent and supporting that talent to flourish in the organization. RBC not only hires on the basis of merit, but is also really committed, as I mentioned, to inclusion. And the goal is always to help people achieve their full potential within the organization. So within that, it's really driven how we develop, improve, and deliver on our programs that are specific to different communities. In 2015, RBC Foundation signed a declaration stating the actions behind our commitment to truth and reconciliation. And within that, of course, that call to action number 92, it really helped us acknowledge that our goal of reconciliation and what that means to RBC in creating awareness and how we strive to be at the forefront of healing and how we're going to seek a path to move forward together in mutual respect. So it started, so where it's evolved to today is that we've created our 3 pillars, which are meant to be a holistic approach to how we move on this journey. So that focus being in community, economy, people, and community. And for the sake of time, I won't go into a lot of detail around this, but we're quite transparent. This information is available on our website as well. But this is also that foundation and the background. Like all of this is to give you the background on how we've developed the programming we have in place to support Indigenous youth going forward. So I'm going to touch on those programs, and then hopefully there might be a time for a couple of questions if they're there. The first one I want to speak to is our Indigenous Student Awards program. This award was created in 1992 as a way for RBC to support students as they're completing post-secondary education. And it started out at $4,000 per year. We've just recently increased it to $5,000. It's awarded to those who are going into anywhere from 2 to 4 years or have 2 to 4 years remaining in post-secondary education. And this can actually be for both finance and non-finance disciplines. So it's not just for people wanting to be in banking. It can be for anybody from business to nursing, dentistry, opera. Apparently that was one of the awards. So you could be in a music program. It's really in supporting your goals and your education. What I love about the award as well is that academics are only part of the eligibility. What we're also looking for is how are students working with their Indigenous communities, and how do they plan to pay that forward following the completion of their education. And our judging panel is made up of Indigenous RBCers and Indigenous academics. And honestly, we've always heard just how inspirational and outstanding the applications are each and every year. I always, with youth, I make note of, think about how you would want to be involved or how you could be involved. Inspired has great ideas. And then, of course, how you might use that that involvement and engagement for your application. Now, the Student Awards program is actually posted right now, and the deadline to apply is February 28th. But because we're presenting today, I will tell you, if you're hearing this and you are interested, we will take late applications. So up to a week late. Don't be afraid to reach out and say, I heard about this on the weekend, I want to apply. We will take your application. Just don't delay too long. You want to apply within the next week. So that's just one of our programs. And we, by the way, the email address is on our website, and we will have it at the end of the presentation. Now,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Andrea. There's a quick question in the chat box.
Yep.
So Jeremy wants to know if you can still qualify if you left school because you had kids.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Going back to school to complete your degree, most certainly. Yeah, there is our personal lives. That's our personal lives. It's about your education going forward and how we can support it. Also, there's no restriction on how you use these funds. As you note on the screen, it can be towards your tuition, your living expenses, daycare. Let's put it that way. So, So that's one of the programs. And now I'm actually going to turn it over to my colleague, Natasha, and she's going to share with you a couple of other programs that we have.
Thank you, Andrea. I just want to make sure, am I clear? Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much for that introduction, Andrea, and thank you so much for having me here. I'm just gonna basically touch upon the internship as well as the rotational program that RBC does offer Indigenous youth. So for those of you who might be interested in or know someone interested in an internship at RBC, we have the Indigenous Student Internship Program. This program has also been around since the 1990s, but has gone through some updates. Historically, this was a stay-in-school program for high school students. Because of the number of Indigenous youth attending post-secondary, it was updated to those in post-secondary schools. This is a national all-year-round program in all lines of business, from sales and service to branches to technology. Internships and co-ops are available across Canada and are posted during campus recruitment cycle. So summer placement is in January, February, fall placements in May and June, and winter placements in September and October. That being said, the majority of our students join us over the summer, as not all programs have co-ops built in. Internships are a great opportunity to receive experiential learning and gain valuable skills for tomorrow. I like to mention to people that this program is not separate from the overall student experience, but an additional piece to a student internship. It is a place where students can meet and share with other Indigenous interns from coast to coast to coast. Our Indigenous and Ally Employee Resource Group is there to support and offer mentorship as a safe place for people to gather, share, learn, and develop. In addition, students can engage with our initiatives such as the iCommit, which is an online awareness campaign. iCommit is an initiative to foster an environment of understanding and support for the Indigenous culture and community. Or they can attend a number of events hosted by Inclusive Recruitment, Global Diversity, and Royal Eagles. This past year, we had Indigenous entrepreneur Kendall Netmaker and DJ Osho, a youth activist, and Indigenous lawyer Billy Fortier, among the others, joining us to share their stories and development tips. Next, I will speak briefly about the Indigenous People Development Program. This program started in 2017, with the first cohort joining us in 2018. When it started, we had associates in finance. As of last year, we have students in finance, audit, risk management, technology, Canadian banking, insurance, marketing, and human resources. This is a 2-year rotational program that includes 4 rotations. Three of those 4 rotations are within an area of the business. For example, if the associate spends time in 3 different teams under, let's say, finance, they would sit with corporate treasury, wealth management, finance, or investor relations. The unique part of this program is the 4-month community impact rotation. For 4 months, the associate is sent to an Indigenous not-for-profit or a not-for-profit that is working with the Indigenous community. This is an opportunity for the associate to give back to the community level and for them to bring back that community mentality into the corporate setting. This program is for those who have graduated post-secondary, as it is a full-time role within RBC. I do encourage that you guys check out the website that is listed on the slides, as that will provide further information. And now I defer back to my colleague, Andrea.
Andrea, you just need to unmute yourself. Here we go. Thanks.
There you go. Do that all the time, no matter how often I say I won't. We kept it short and sweet. Again, all this information is available on our website. Gaila Kusla to everyone for joining us today. You can contact Natasha and I. Here's our email addresses. If you have a question or you want to know more or you have a concern about applying, we're open to answering those questions for you. Also, we have our general email for under the Aboriginal Student Awards at rbc.com. You can send any question through on that email. And of course, as I say, all more details on our website at RBC. I'll also share with you, I'm on LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn profile, connect with me there. I highlight when different roles or student internships are available. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Gaila Cusla.
Miigwech, everybody. Thank you very much for coming and sharing these like inspiring services that we have for our youth. And everything that you both have touched on has aligned perfectly with NAPAM's Youth Navigation Service. So I would love to connect with you on that end. But thank you very, very much. Today was very informative. I know that they're having a lunch break and a pop-up shop happening for the next half hour. And then we will be running on to our trade show this afternoon. So I will see some of you in some of the workshops. Thank you so much, Natasha, Andrea, and Greg, for sharing your knowledge and services with us. And if the youth have any other questions, we do have a few minutes. If you want to type it into the chat box, I will read them out to our panelists.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen just for a quick minute so that everybody can understand what's coming up next and what this afternoon looks like. So here is the link once again. I know we probably all have it, but that's okay. I'm going to put it in our live chat once more. And we've got a lot happening this afternoon. In fact, just looking for the chat. There we go. There's the link. So here we just finished the RBC session. Right now, we encourage you, go grab some lunch. The next session starts at 12:30, but during your lunch break, you can also join this live Zoom session to learn how to earn OK points and prizes. So if you've got any questions, now is the time, because we've got 4 forms that you can fill out to learn about how to earn more OK points. And at the very bottom of the screen as well, as I scroll down here, this bright purple, click here to learn how to earn OK points. If you click on that, it will open up a PDF with step-by-step instructions as well, and all of the grand prize listed. So during lunch, you can learn and ask questions if you've got any of them from our team to learn about OK points and prizes. Other than that, from 12:30 to 1:10, we've got all of these different partners. You can simply click on the images to join each of those sessions. As I scroll down, these are going to be very back-to-back sessions. From 1:10 to 1:50, we've got these awesome partners. And then from 1:50 to 2:30, we have these partners as well. So check that out. Then we've got a keynote presentation, our closing ceremony, and the round dance. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy. See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Natasha, Carrie, and Greg. That was great. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks.